Hello, it's Kevin here, long lost Kevin from bustingsticks.com. Nice to see you all again. I know it's been a while for a new video. Lots of things going on in life. We had a minor flood here, which kind of delayed things. It's also soccer season and a lot of travel, a lot of work for me to do for that. So it's been almost 40 months since I bought this Alesis Nitro Mesh kit, and I want to give an update because I don't think there are any videos out there that really look at the long-term viability and endurance of the kit. So I wanted to give an update. We can take a closer look at the rack, the kit, and answer some of those questions that I get in the comments. I absolutely adore the questions that come in the comments. So please, the more you put in there, I love responding. I think I answer to almost every single one that comes out. And if I didn't answer it, it's just because I probably missed it. It also gives me great ideas for new videos. So let's talk about the kit first. We've definitely expanded this kit as far as we could go. And if you've seen my last video looking at the sample pad, you can see that that's mounted up over here in the top. I'll put an overhead view so you can see all the bits and bobs I have here. I have mounted that on its own stand. And what that has allowed me to do is to add 2 more pads to this kit than you could with just the base module. So now this kit is about as fully fleshed out as you can get without another piece of hardware. Again, cheating a little bit with the sample pad, but it gives me 4 pads up over the top there. Plus, there's an input for 2 more pads if you use a splitter, and that's what I've done. So I use that splitter right now to drive the bell sound on this cymbal here and the high tom that's over on the far left of the kit, the upper left of the kit. So it's been fantastic in that regard. It's given me just a little bit more options. I love having a separate bell. I wish I could find a dual zone pad for the ride, but dual zone cymbals tend to be the bow and the edge, and I want the bell and the bow. And the 3 zone cymbals that are out there just either don't work with this kit, or they've been priced too much for me to want to try and experiment if I can't return it. So right now, 2 separate pads, bell and cymbal. It is what it is, but it works out for me. Long term, the only weakness really this kit seems to have to me is the hi-hat. The hi-hat really gives you 3 sounds, 3 MIDI notes that come out, and that's it. You can get a closed, a fully open, and there's a very narrow window on the pedal to get it to the semi-open. And it's in practice, it's really hard to hit that spot with your feet as you play. And so that's been a struggle. There is one more sound if you stamp down on the pedal and release it real quick, like a splash. But that really, it's not really useful for much of the music I play. And I think if you were playing that style of music where you might want that sound, I'm not sure this kit's the one for you because, again, the hi-hat piece. The rest of the kit, if you set the parameters correctly, and I have some videos out there talking about the sensitivity, crosstalk, those sort of settings, this kit is extremely responsive for the price. No one's going to mistake this kit for $1,200 or $2,200, or I've seen recently, I've played the DW, EDW kit, I've looked at the F-Note kits. Nobody's going to mistake this kit for that. No way. But for fractions of the dollar, I mean, I literally looked at $65,000 and $7,000 kits, which to me is just ridiculous. This kit really does seem to do pretty much everything you might need it to do, minus this hi-hat bit. If I could find a module or a kit that I could expand like this, but have a continuous hi-hat controller that lets me go from basically MIDI messages 0 to 127 in terms of open and close, I think it would be a real winner. But alas, this kit doesn't do that. And at retail, about $250, that's a pretty okay trade-off compared to $6,000 or more. So let's take a look at the rack. I'm going to show you some close-up views around the outside of it. We'll look at that. I'll do a voiceover on that video so you can see what's going on there. Then we'll take a look from the overhead too, and we'll do a little close-up on each of the drums just to see how it's held up. As if you've seen any of my other videos, especially my cover videos, you can see that I really do I really hit the drums hard. I do not hold back as electronic kits. I play it like an acoustic drum, for better or worse. Might not be the quietest to listen to in the house as you hear me hit the rims and the cymbals and everything else, but I don't baby this, and my 9-year-old plays on it too, and I'm happy to say he hits almost as hard as his dad, so that's very pleasing to me. It's held up remarkably well. So let's take a look at the drums from the outside for the rack, and then we'll take a look across the top. All right, we'll come down, take a look at this from the outside. As you can see, we'll talk about that extension rod that's right there. That's the only thing that's really different from what you might get stock. I did buy a second rack for $35 online, and I used some of those parts to hold up the other pieces. But besides my messy wires, you can see it's a stock rack, some careful planning to get all these pads on. It can be done. You can see, we'll take a look at the snare arm again, a little bit closer near the end of this. Here is my bass drum pad from 1985, give or take. Those spurs that come out are nice and pointy. This thing does not move at all. Then we'll come around to this side. You can see one of the pads, my high tom, is actually held up with a pearl clamp. I believe that's a pearl clamp. It might be a no-name clamp. But other than that, you can see here a little bit closer the snare arm. That's that short arm that comes with the kit. And you are able to get the brain down there. I like it down by my left hand. So I thought if I ever needed to deal with it during playing, which I don't. And then this outside pipe is the only one that's different than stock. That's slightly longer because it's from the other rack that I bought. It's the same length as the pipe that's in the center. But again, careful placement can get everything on there. Okay, so here we'll start from the inside of the kit, taking a look at things. This is the newest pad to be added, and of course, it's in pretty decent shape. There's the hi-hat. And then starting up to the top, you can see here, that pad is also relatively new, but in decent shape. You can see some of the stick marks on the rim, but really nothing terrible. There's that sample pad that I've put up top. But now as we look at the rest of the kit, most of these pads have been around since the beginning. So you can see that, honestly, things are in really decent shape. I mean, I haven't cleaned off or brushed off or done anything to these rims. I'm sure some of that wood dust and etc. would come right off. But they're in great shape all the way down. And this tom down here is again one of the ones used to be in a different position. The snare drum module will probably be the one that takes the most abuse. And honestly, again, it's in practically perfect shape. If I cleaned up the rim a little bit, you might not even know that it had been used. The heads have been fine. I like to tune the heads the way real drums are tuned, so the tension on this one is much more than the tension down here. Hard to tell, hard to hear. You can see the cymbal pads. Some are newer than others. That's one of the originals. One I use as a ride now. That's pretty old. No delaminating. The rubber isn't pulling up. Any of those things. And again, if you watched any of my cover videos, you know that I do not baby this kit. I hit them pretty hard. There's a whole video out on it, but there's my replacement bass drum pad from literally 1982 or 3. And the only reason I like to use this is it's not because of the double pedal. If you have a double pedal that has spacing that can be adjusted, you can see how close my two beaters are on here. You can use the tower. My problem was down here, the tower would just creep away from me and I had to use a cinder block all the time. So that's a quick look at how the pads themselves have held up. So that's my quick update. 40 months with the Alesis Nitro Mesh. Still love it as much as the first day I got it. Love it more because I've done all this expansion. It's super fun to play. Now that the room is back in one piece, flood's been damage has been taken care of, new floor has been dropped down. I've gotten all the pieces and parts back together again, hoping I can get back to more videos. In the comments, please let me know what you'd like to see. Would you like to see another cover? Would you like some other piece of information from this kit or recording on the software? Please let me know. And if you could, please, I see ridiculous numbers of views, but smaller numbers of subscribers. And we've been growing a little bit at a time. It's fantastic. And I thank each and every one of you. But if you're watching this video and you've watched another one of these videos, if you could hit the subscribe button, the thumbs up button, it really does help other people find it. And being a lower price kit, I know a lot of these get sold over the holidays, and there's going to be lots of people out there trying to find info on it, hoping that I can help them with that. So nothing else to say, but thank you so much, and we'll talk to you real soon. Bye.